Hi Vinay, I tried. Hi Vinay Kumar, are you able to listen to me?
Sir, morning, sir.
Good morning. Yeah, I am not able to actually search your number. Yesterday, I thought of looking for the number. That okay, fine. Anyway, uh, see, in the previous class, just a minute. Yeah. So we are discussing about this multiple integrals. Okay. So now the thing is that right. This is not necessary. Right. Right. So we talked about single integrals. Then we knew about this one actually. Then we talked about multiple integrals. In that one, we have double integrals and triple integrals. And triple integrals. So, right. So what we are going to do is that we have seen some methods of evaluating double integrals and triple integrals. Triple integrals I will discuss as and when the question comes. Now see, here when we are talking about uh, vector calculus, when we are talking about vector calculus, you have two things. Calculus. When you are dealing about vector calculus, we are talking about two things. One is called vector differentiation. Vector differentiation. Then another is vector integration. Okay. So when we talk about vector differentiation and vector integration, what we have in our mind is that we need to integrate or differentiate functions. That is the main idea here. So what type of functions we are dealing with? That is the question. So we are here dealing with vector. What I mean to say is that there are two types of quantities we know. One is called scalar and the other is called vector, simply speaking. So here I mean what we mean by a vector is a three tuple. A three tuple. That is what throughout this discussion it will happen x, y, z. And instead of writing like this, people may write like r bar is equal to xi bar plus yj bar plus zk bar. Like this also people will write. So this is called position vector r bar. So you have r bar. Whenever it comes to our mind r bar, it means in Cartesian frame xi bar plus yj bar plus zk bar. This is vector. Then what are x, y and z? X comma y comma z here are numbers. They are real numbers. They are called scalars. That is what we have. It is enough for us. Then when it comes to vectors, when you are dealing with vectors, you have two types of, we can talk about functions here. So when I talk about function, when I talk about function, see here, we have, yeah, right, we have function here. So there will be naturally an input here and an output. So if you here input always is vector, please remember in this context. So our input is r bar. How we write r bar? X, Y, Z. We can write like this also, or xi bar plus yj bar plus zk bar. And my function is cf. It can be a vector valued function. That is the value, that is the output. When this is what I mean by output, delivers an output. So we may have F1, I write small letters then, that may be ideal. F1 I bar plus F2 J bar plus F3 K bar. This is called, the output is also a vector. The output is also a vector. Then an example I will tell you. For example, if our you take this one, fr bar is equal to say uh, z I bar plus sin y j bar plus say e power x plus z k bar. If I say like this, then the input is here, the input is a vector. Here the input is a vector and the output is also a vector. That's enough. And what is our f1 here in our context? In our context, f1 is, it is a function of xyz. It is only z. I am not writing f1 of xyz. f2 is sin y. f3 is e power x plus z. This is the idea here, right? So what the first type of function is, this I call simply a vector valued function. This for, because throughout our discussion we should I mean the fix to some notation here. So this here the notation is, it is a vector valued function. So an example of a vector valued function I have shown. See, remember one thing, whatever the functions in vector calculus we are dealing with, the input is always a vector. Please remember that one. And the output can be a vector or can be a scalar. How could that be a scalar? See, something like if I give z of r bar, see, I can write like this also. Please remember, z, x, y, z sometimes. I may write like this also, because for us, r bar and this is position vector are one and same. If I write like this, see, it is say x square plus y plus sine z. Then the input is a vector for this one, but the output is a scalar. This, there is no I, j, k here. You can see like that. So what type of functions we have? We are basically two types of functions. So one is called a vector valued function. The other is called a scalar valued function. So when we are dealing with, see, from where the input is taken, all possible vectors here, all possible vectors. So when I am saying all possible vectors, so that constitutes a field that is called a vector field. See, from where this r bar I am taking, from where this r bar I am taking, this r bar I am taking from some place, inputs place, space. That input, there is at every point. So this is input space. So if I take this is, see, you have a three-dimensional space x, y, z like this. There is some space here. For each of these things, vector, position vector, we are associating a vector value. It can be, see, something like temperature gradient. It may be temperature gradient at each point. Maybe it will vary. So temperature gradient is a vector valued function. Some people say it is a vector field. That's called a vector field. Right, likewise, scalar field also we can talk about. At each, what is the magnitude of that temperature gradient? We can think about it. So This is what I mean by the functions we are about to deal with, vector valued functions and scalar valued functions. Then there comes, because in simple calculus we have seen, we talked about differentiation and integration. We talked about differentiation and integration. So here, how can I talk about integration and differentiation? But before going for that one, I would like to say here what are the important things you can do with vectors. One can do with vectors, you can add vectors and get a vector. That's good. And you can multiply a scalar with a vector and get, if you add vectors, you will get vector. Please remember that. If you multiply a vector with a scalar, again you will get a vector. So this is scalar multiplication, scalar multiplication I call it. And then we have what type of products you have. There are two types. I mean, there are two types of products for now for us. We are not going to discuss in detail all the things. When you talk about product of two vectors, you may get a scalar or for one type of product, and you will get a vector for another type of product. The one that delivers the product of two vectors as a scalar is known as dot product. It is dot product, and the other one is called cross product. Cross product. So dot product and cross product are there. So if we have, see quickly, if you have two vectors like for example, I have r1 bar. R1 bar is x1 i bar plus y1 j bar plus z1 k bar, and r2 bar is say x2 i bar plus y2 j bar plus z3 k bar. Then sorry, z2 k bar. Z2 k bar. Then R1 you can talk about here. One can talk about here R1 bar dot R2 bar. R1 bar dot R2 bar you can talk about. One is R1 bar dot R2 bar. And that is simply x1, x2 plus y1, y2 plus z1, z2. What are x1, x2, y1, y2, z1, z2? They're after all scalars. So you will get a scalar here. You will get a scalar here. That is one product, what we call dot product. The other one, you know, it is cross product. Cross product, how we are defining R1 bar in terms of determinant we are talking about. So you have I bar, j bar, k bar here, and x1, x2, x1, y1, first vector quotients here, y1, z1, x2, y2, z2. See, remember here it is simple way is there. See, if you take this one, we have y1 z2 minus y2 z1 I bar. You can write like this. See, then I can see this is there is a circular summation is there. You can write plus. After y1, you have that z1 will come. After z2, x2 will come. See, z2, x2, y2. That is the x2, y2, z2. Cycle I mean. So similarly, x1, y1, z1 like that. I am following that cycle, indexing cycle. So y2, after y2, what will come? You have z2, and after z1, what will come? x1. It is j bar. See, this is how one can easily remember the things. So plus, after z1, what will come? x1. After x2, y2, and after z2 will come x2, and you have y1 here. And after I bar, j bar will come. After j bar, k bar will come. You can check which, this is the same formula if you expand this one. See, for example, for j bar component, you have x1 j2 minus x2 j1. x1 j2 minus, but you have minus sign is there for determinant, so that became plus here. So I wrote like this. So if you remember this circular summation, it will be very easy for us to compute. So we talked about product of vectors. There are two types of products. One is a cross product and the other is dot product. Fine. We quickly recall that. So we talked about scalar valued functions. We talked about vector valued functions, And what we can do with vectors we have seen. So if you have two vector valued functions, you can talk about their dot product, you can talk about their cross product, etc., etc. Now will go straight to differentiation part. So here something called vector differential operator will come. Vector differential operator. So what is this? Simply they write I bar dou by dou x plus j bar dou by dou y plus k bar dou by dou z. And they usually represent this by this symbol, like d by dx we have in the way. So what is this called? This is known as vector differential operator. Fine. This vector differential operator can act on derivatives will act on what? Derivatives will act on functions. So similarly, this is a kind of derivative. This is called vector derivative. This derivative can act on functions. And how many types of functions we have? Scalar valued functions and vector valued functions. So if how this can be how this can act on a scalar valued function, that first we will see. Usually we will confine to one thing. See our notation. Whenever we are writing phi, so we say it is a scalar valued function. Okay, so we can say that it is a scalar valued function. And if I write f or capital F, I say it is a vector valued function. So if you have like this, you have f1 I bar plus f2 j bar plus f3 k bar. That we need to keep in mind. So this is called a vector valued function. This is our convention. So this is a vector valued function. So this is a vector valued function. Now see, what type of so if when our differential operator, vector differential operator, how we are writing del, it acts on f, then it is called grad f. They pronounce this as grad phi. So what is the what it delivers? It delivers a vector. Please remember how we are writing that. That I bar dou by dou phi by dou x plus j bar dou phi by dou y plus k bar dou phi by dou z. Right. So this in short we write I bar phi subscript x plus j bar phi subscript y plus k bar phi subscript z. This is how we write. So right, this is one type of operator. This is one type of operator. That is called gradient. It acts on scalar only and it delivers a vector value. Right. Then you have another thing. The same operator we are talking about, that is called, pronounce it grad. So when it acts on, now already we talked about scalar thing. Now I want to talk about vector thing. When it acts on vector, how it will? It may result like this. I write CF bar for convenience sake here. Whenever we are writing, we better write bar here. Okay. So, so here you have del dot F bar and another is cross F bar. So this is called divergence of F bar. This is called curl of F bar. So divergence of F bar is a scalar. Divergence curl of F bar is a vector. So when gradient operator or the vector differential operator acts on a scalar, it delivers vector phi. It delivers a vector value, and when it acts on a vector field, it can either delivers a scalar value or a vector value. If it delivers a scalar value, it is called divergence of F bar. If it delivers a vector value, it is called curl of F bar. So how divergence of F bar can be defined? So We knew that divergence of f bar in short we write like this or like this. Simply it is phi x plus phi y, dou phi by dou x plus dou phi by dou y plus dou phi by dou z. See, this is very easy to remember this, because how can we remember this? If you remember this like I bar dou x, if I write dou subscript x, dou by dou x, that is the meaning, j bar dou subscript y, dou by dou y, k bar dou by dou z. Then if you put dot here, you have f1 I bar plus f2 j bar plus f3 k bar, usual dot product like thing which we have of vectors we can think about, and we will get the answer. That is dou phi by dou x. See, when this acts on f1, it is, I mean, sorry, here f1, it gives dou f1 by dou x. Small error. Okay, here what I have to write is f1x, f2y, f3z. I'm sorry, this we have to dou f1 by dou x plus dou f2 by dou y plus dou f3 by dou z. Oh, that is the meaning here. So this is yeah, what we mean by divergence of f bar. When it comes to curl of f bar, when it comes to curl of f bar, there is again is whenever curl is coming, circulation is coming. You probably might be knowing about that. So you can use circulars, the idea of circular sums, which I have already mentioned. So you have dou by dou x, dou by dou y, dou by dou z here. See here how one can effectively use that circular sum. F2, F3 is there, and how this can be used. See here, first term you simply write I bar dou I bar. No, this next page. This is equal to I bar dou F3 by dou y minus dou F2 by dou z. See, look at the first determinant, first I bar dou f3 by dou y minus dou f2 by dou z. I wrote that only. Remaining things I can easily write. You put plus sign now. After I bar, j bar will come. After f3, f1 will come. Circular sum. After y, z will come. Dou f2, f of f3 will come. And after z, you have x. Then full round you have to, one has to rotate. And you have k. After j bar, k bar will come. After after Z, X will come. After F3, F1 will come. And after XY will come. This is how you can easily remember the curl F bar formula. You can easily remember the curl F bar formula. So we have now discussed about what I mean by curl and divergence and gradient. Right. After this, some properties will be there. See, like divergence of curl F bar is what, and curl of divergence of F bar is what. Some simple formulas are there that I will share. Okay. But it is, see, if you see the problems, they are very simple in nature. Don't worry about that. Then, after this one, this is a brief about the vector differential operator. This is a brief about the vector differential operator. Then, we will go to vector integration now. After that, we'll go for problem solving session. So, right, what just see what I have presented. Yeah, right, good. So we have talked about different types of functions, scalar valued functions and vector valued functions, R bar, XYZ relationship. And yet I have not talked about what is the use of double and triple integrals here. So, right, good, okay. Now we'll go to integration. So when we go to integration, when we go to integration, when we go to integration, usually what happens is that you have a function. You we have a function whenever we are talking about integration. Okay, wait, just vector integration. See, so when we are talking about vector integration, we are talking about there will be three types of integrals here. There are three types of integrals. One is called line integral, and another is called surface integral, and the third one is known as volume integral. So line integral, surface integral, and volume integral. There are three things here. See, when you are talking about integration at the beginning, I have shown what usually your integration will have. You if you want to integrate, you have an integral here, single integral I am talking. You have an integrand here, and it talks about integrating variable, and this x will be somewhere between a and b, and we usually write in such a case integral a to b. That is how we write. So it will be a number. It will be a number. Here, when I integrate, if you go for integral calculus, vector integral calculus, I am writing here some integral. Okay, some integrand will be there. Then here something like dx element should be there. Something like dx element should be there. That element has three possibilities. One is line, that is dr bar. The other one is ds bar surface. The third one is dv volume. So instead of dx here, we either write dr bar, means whenever you have dr bar, it is a line integral. Whenever you have ds bar, you have a surface integral. Whenever you have dv, it is a volume integral. Then see, you look, it is very simple. If you look at this one, something we are writing, where is this x? That is the question. That x will be there. See, because in one dimensions, you have x here, y here, you have f of x graph here, y is equal to f of x. So where is your x? X, let's say if this is a and b, my x is there. But when it comes to vector integration, I already told you that we are in a three-dimensional space, x, y, z. So in three-dimensional space, what are the regions? Here, when I mean by region here, I mean my region of integration here is, this part. This is my region of integration. I can show you. This is my region of integration. Now, in this region, I am observing this function and I am talking about the integral. Fine. But here, why? How can I talk about regions here? That's the question. So I can talk about it. Our region can be here a line, a space line, curve, like a spiral, or like some shape. It's a curve. What I mean. So it can be a curve. Usually people call a curve as a line. A line can be a straight line or not a straight line. If it is not a straight line, people call it curve. Okay. So it can be a curve. Okay, fine. Then you may have the other one is a surface. So here if I say a curve, you can think about a surface. And the third one is it can be sorry, it can be a volume. So region can be a volume. This can be a volume. Right. I'll show some good curves. You can think about you can think about like this. Imagine a cylinder here. Okay. Where is the base of the cylinder? The base of the cylinder is on xy plane. And we have a cylinder here. Then see, this cylinder has, if you think about curve, you have one curve here and the other curve here. When you talk about surface, okay, when you talk about surface, just a minute. When you talk about surface, yeah, good. This whole thing is a surface. This is surface, inside, outside surface. And in between this surface is enclosing some volume inside, that is inside. So you can be on the surface, you can move on the surface, you can move inside the surface, you can move along the border. Border means here curves. Please remember, this can be viewed as an open surface. This can be viewed because this is very important. We talk about Stokes theorem, Gauss theorem, and Green's theorem. So this is an example of an open surface. So if you say this is an open surface, it is bounded by, see, it consists of this bumpy part. See, this is the bumpy part. That's all. And the surface is bounded by a curve. One curve is this curve. Which curve? One curve is this curve, and the other one is this curve. Okay, and inside that is the open surface, what I call. If you want an example, if one wants an example of a closed surface, the best example is a sphere. The best example is a sphere. So you have x, y, z. You have x, y, z, and you have the surface here. That's a closed surface. That is a closed. Usually, closed surface, when we are dealing with closed surface only, we can think about volume integrals. Please remember this. When you are dealing with closed surface only, then we can talk about volume integrals. When we are dealing with open surfaces, it is not possible to think about volume integrals. Okay, volume. I mean, in some sense, what I mean to say is that I'm making this statement by keeping the idea of Stokes theorem and Gauss divergence theorem. That's by keeping those things in my mind. I am making these statements. Fine. So when I come over to here, see, the regions can be a curve. So you can integrate over the integrand over a curve or over a surface or a volume. But curves are of two types. One is a closed curve, the other is not a closed curve. It can be an open curve. So closed curve means circle is a closed curve. Okay, circle is a closed curve. It's a plane curve. You can put it on. But there are some curves which are not plane. For example, if you have like this spring, this is not a plane curve. That is a curve, but it's not a plane curve. You cannot put it on a plane. What you have a ring, this circle you can put. So this is here, if you take this spring, that can be viewed as an open curve, and this can be viewed as a closed curve. This can be viewed as a closed curve. Fine. Similarly, we can talk about surfaces, open surfaces, closed surfaces. Here is I have given an example of a open surface, that is cylinder. The other one is a closed surface. You can think about another closed surface also, that is this cuboid. This is a cuboid. This also you can view as a closed surface. So if it is closed surface, how many faces it has? It has 6 faces. While this cylinder, while the cylinder has only one face, and this has sphere has only one face, while this cuboid, it has 6 faces. Right. That's all. So when it comes to here integrals, I already told you curves. You can integrate over curves, you can integrate over surfaces, you can integrate over volumes. Inside means volume means inside. So curve can be a an open curve or a closed curve. Surface can be an open surface or a closed surface, and volume can be an open volume or a closed volume. But in most of the time, see the symbols that we come across. If it is a closed curve, we write like this. Something will be there here, dr bar will be there. See, this something means in this place, this is called a line integral I am saying. This is called a line integral I am saying. So it can be like f bar, okay, cross dr bar, f bar cross dr. So your integrand can be like this. You can think like this. So naturally, this is a vector. You can think about another line integral. If it is a closed curve or over a closed curve, if you are doing f bar dot dr bar, this is a scalar one. See, in most of our applications, only this will come. F bar, both are line integrals. Remember, both are line integrals. But in this is the in gate point of view, most of the things will come here only. Now, similarly, we can talk about the surface integrals. So surface integral you have, if it is a closed surface, I am writing, putting a circle there. Some region will be there. Here I write C. Here I write C. Here surface means some, I can put yes. So here also you can have f bar dot ds bar, or you can have f bar cross ds bar. But please remember here, in our applications, cross will come here. Most of the time, cross will come. See, remember, and I'm coming to the third one, that is the volume thing. For volume, if it is closed, you have V, dvi, right? And here, it must be a scalar valid function. It must be a scalar valid function. Please remember. Usually, in most of the applications, it's a scalar valid function. That's all. So now come over to here. See, when I am saying curve, I am curve. This is an infinitesimal element. Curve means a vector. I am saying infinitesimal curve vector. This is infinitesimal surface vector. Surface vector. When I am saying surface is a vector, how that we see. When it is a volume, it's not a vector. It's a scalar. So volume has no direction. Surface has direction and curve has direction. For example, if you have curve, if you are thinking like this curve, if I am here, you have a direction. If I am here, you have a direction. Think about direction here. So curve has direction. So curve can be treated as a vector. On the other hand, surface also, if you are moving on a cylinder, see on the surface. So if I stand here, how I stand? See, when I am talking about curves, it is tangential direction will come into picture. When you are talking about surfaces, normal direction will come into picture. So surface also it can be viewed as a vector quantity. Volume, it's pure scalar quantity. So that is why in our examination questions, bars will come means you have to be very careful. So curve means you are talking about I mean line integrals means it's dr bar will come, it's a vector, so line element, that is a vector, and surface integral means ds bar will come, so it is a I mean a again a vector, and dv means you need not worry, dv means usually it is dx into dy into dz, only that you can remember. Okay, so now what I will do is that I will go to some problems and then we will shift to the uh, other things. Okay, for example, yeah, see here. The integral y dx minus x dy is evaluated along this one, traversed in the counterclockwise direction. What is the value? So when I ask you what is this one, is this a line integral or is this a volume integral, or what is this one? If I ask you, then the response is that this is a line integral. This is a line integral. See, whenever I am saying line integrals, here this one. So it's a line integral means if it's a line either this type or this type. If closely observe, the one that is given in this one is this one in your problem, in that problem set. Okay. So okay. Anyway, how to distinguish whether it is this type or that type. I don't want to discuss. How we will evaluate this one? See, usually, so when we are talking about this particular problem, we have already done this problem when in dealing with multiple integrals, in fact. So integral y dx minus x dy, integral y dx minus x dy. Okay, this c I am talking about, this c. What is this c? It is x square plus y square is equal to 1 by 4. Sorry, is equal to 1 by 4. That's what we have here. Okay, so x square plus y square is equal to 1 by 2 whole square. 1 by 2 whole square. Fine. Now see what is happening here. I will tell you. I will give you because if you have intuition, then easily you can do it. You have the circle here. We are standing in the on the we are moving along the circle in counterclockwise direction. That is what he told. In counterclockwise, in the counterclockwise direction. Yes, in the counterclockwise direction. Then what we have a something at each point we are finding this, and adding, that is the meaning. So what we have to do is that for this curve, remember one thing, either a curve or a surface are represented by equations. I am not going to give much details onto this one. A curve can always will have only one equation or a set of equations. If it is parametric form, you have set of equations, but usually only one equation. If see he you have x square plus y square is equal to, for example, 1 by 4. If you take, this is only one equation. This curve has only one equation, x square plus y square is equal to 1 by 4. But if you think about parametric form, all these things we have talked in during our previous lecture. Parametric form, how can I say? X is equal to r. The radius is 1 by 2 cos t. Y is equal to half sine t. This is called the parametric form. If you have x square plus y square here, it is agreeing with 1 by 2 whole square. So it is equal to 1 by 4. That is the parametric form of the curve under consideration. Then once we know this one, because how the line integral can be evaluated, I am telling here. So simply convert this is, see, here what is the problem is, it is not in a clear form. I want to convert this into a single integral. That is the idea. Single, see, I can convert a line integral into a single integral or a double integral. That is the only strategy we have. To evaluate a line integral, what are the strategies? To evaluate the surface integral, what are the strategies? To evaluate volume integral, what are the strategies? Okay. Earlier, we talked about single integrals, double integrals, triple integrals. Single integrals, change of variable by parts, they are the key ideas. Double integral, change of variable, um, change of variable. Then the other one is that changing the order of integration. This also we have discussed. In a similar way, triple integral also you can think about uh, change of variable and change the order of integration, which we have not discussed in detail. Why? Because GATE mainly focuses on double integrals. Okay, fine. So the strategy, see, we have on one hand, single integral, double integral, triple integral, the methods of evaluating it. On the other hand, you have line integral, surface integral, volume integral. Now, how line integral can be solved? That's the strategy we have to see. Line integral can be solved by converting it into either a single integral or a double integral. That is the only available things for now. So if you want to convert into a double integral, Green theorem will come into picture. And okay, fine. And if you want to convert directly into single integral, no issue at all. So what are the strategies for evaluating line integral? You either convert that into a single integral or you can convert it to a double integral. That's the first thing. But you can convert into a double integral only when Green's theorem is applied. Green theorem means when it is only a closed curve, then you can think about double integral. Fine. Now, similarly, surface integral. Surface integral can be, excuse me, surface integral can be evaluated by either, see the next stage, it can be reduced by either, reducing it into a double integral or a triple integral. Please remember this one. Surface integral can either be evaluated by either reducing it into a double integral or triple integral. So if you want to reduce that into a triple integral, then it is Gauss divergence theorem. If you want to reduce that into a double integral, then it is Stokes theorem. That is the connection between the multiple integrals and line, surface and volume integrals. Now in this problem, what I am doing this is a line integral. I already told you this. I am evaluating, of course this is a closed curve, agreed, but this I am evaluating by converting into a single integral. How this already you can convert. How? See, this is parametric form I am using. So now what is dx? From here we can say dx is what is this? Cos minus half sine t, and dy is half cos t. That's all. So you put in the above integrand. Where is our integrand? I am saying that terminology is very important. If you understand that the integrand is here, the integrand is here. In this integrand, you just put wherever x is there, you put half cos t. Wherever y is there, you put half sin t. Wherever dx is there, you put minus half sin t. Wherever dy is there, you put half cos t. Then what it will become? I will straight away write here. Okay, this is equal to y. Y means what? We told half sin t, right? Half sin t. Y is half sin t into dx. Dx just now I have told you dx is minus half sin t, right? So if I am correct, minus half sin t. I'm talking about here the strategy, please, how quickly one can solve it. Half sine t dt. Here I forgot to write here dt. I have to write because with respect to t only we have done. Okay, so this is dt here. This is dt here, and what is the other one? Minus x, minus x, minus x. Our x is half cos t, half cos t, and what is our dy? What is our what is this? Dy. It is dy is half cos t dt. So again you have half cos t dt. Here you write half cos t dt. But please see, if you do this one, you may be getting cos square t minus sin square t dt. Maybe if I'm see, please check this one. I'm not maybe some mistake I might have done. To the best of my knowledge, I am correct. So 1 by 4, say for example, cos square t minus sin square t dt. That's what we have. But from where this t will vary, this t will vary from, see, we are moving from here say here to like this counter. So 0 to 2, 0 to 2 pi. Full round we are making, it is 0 to 2 pi. So t is from 0 to 2 pi. Now see what is happening. What is happening here is that this integral, this is a single integral. This you cannot call it a single integral. Please remember, this you cannot call as a single integral. This is a line integral. I am not saying it is a double integral or something. This is a line integral. That's why we are, whenever line, surface or volume is coming, you are dealing with the vector integration. Please remember that one. Okay, how can we evaluate these vector integrals? By either converting that into a single integral or a double integral or a triple integral. If it is a line integral, you can either convert that into a single integral or a double integral. If it is a surface integral, you can either convert it into a double integral, or a triple integral. If it is a if it is a volume integral, there is a safe passage there. You need not worry about that one. So the only things that are very important ones, the important things are why we have very line and surface integral, because they are vector things. I told you volume is not a vector. Volume is not a vector. So how to evaluate surface line integral and surface integral matters for us. Right. Now I will go quickly to the problem solving session. Hopefully you got that idea. So double integrals and triple integrals we have done good. So little I will go. I have not yet made the statements of Greens and Stokes, etc. Okay. While doing problems, we can discuss more. That's what I'm thinking, because right. Uh, right. So see here the right. Any questions? Vinay, do you have any questions? Or Surya Prakash?
No, no, sir.
All these things are clear, no? Simple ones. Is it right? Yeah,
Sir,
right.
the green law you'll be teaching tomorrow, sir.
Pardon, I'm not. Which one?
No, I got it, sir. I got it.
No, no, no. You tell me what is that. I'm not able to get the point. Okay,
Sir, nothing, sir. Sorry.
okay. Now see here. So when it comes to the first question, okay, the magnitude of the gradient of the function fxyz is equal to xyz whole cube. Yeah, right. Xyz. Just let me take a. I want a support pad here. Just a minute, because handwriting is not coming nice way. Right. Support pad is there. Okay. Now see. So what is our function? Fxyz is equal to xyz cube. So our function here is fxyz is equal to xyz cube. When they give like this, it is a scalar valued function, we know, right? And yet 102 he is gradient of the gradient. See, magnitude means a vector has magnitude. What is that? Xi bar plus yj bar plus zk bar square root of x square plus y square z square. That is the. So now I want grad f. See how I am writing. This is called grad f. How we write? Grad f. Gradient of f. The formula fx I bar fy f subscript y j bar f subscript z k bar. So this is equal to fx means yz cube, dou f dou x, yz cube I bar plus fy. Fy is xz cube j bar plus z dou f dou z. So 3 xyz square k bar. This is our grad f. But he wants us to calculate this grad at 102. So now I am writing grad f. So I'm not able to see this. Right. So now grad f at 103. Say. So this is yz square I bar plus xz cube j bar plus 3xyz square k bar at 103. So if you put that, then what we will get? 103 means 103. First component will go 103. So 27 j bar plus 0. Oh, that is 0 anyway. So because x is y is 0. So magnitude means here, therefore magnitude means grad f here is simply 27 because you have for I'll tell what is, you remember what is magnitude. If you have a vector like this, see, if you have a vector like this, f1 I bar plus f2 j bar plus f3 k bar, then if you say this is f bar, then modulus of f bar is square root of f1 square plus f2 square plus f3 square. So here z and I and z k components are 0. So we are getting straight away 27. So this is how we do this. Okay. Go to the next problem. So then if the velocity vector in two-dimensional fluid, I think, is given by v bar is equal to this, then curl v bar. It is also again a straightforward problem. So curl v bar. So yeah, xy I bar. So what is our 2xy I bar? 2xy I bar. The second one is 2xy I bar. 2xy I bar plus 2y square minus x square j bar. 2y square minus plus 2y square minus x square j bar minus x square j bar. Okay. So this is our what they are saying. This is our v bar. Curl v bar here. Direct formula here. So you have curl v bar.
Sir, can we write it as I cap, J cap? Can we
Yeah,
use
you
that,
can
sir?
write I cap, J cap. Different. Some people write EX cap. Please remember this. Ey cap, Ez cap. Nothing wrong in it. Okay?
Okay.
Right. So what I'm telling you is that how quickly one can get the answer. That is the focus. These things probably you know well. Uh, I'm worried about that. Do by do z. And so here you have 2xy here and 2y square minus, this time some problem with me is, okay, this is 0 in writing. This is not plain where I'm sitting. Okay, right. So this is you can yeah, right. So I say this is F1, this is F2, this is F3. So I told you how quickly, I mean, this notation you please try to cultivate. Okay, F3y minus F2z. You have I bar, then everything is rotation. Plus you simply put after F3, F1 will come. After y, you have z will come minus F3 z x. After I bar, j bar will come. J bar will come, and again a rotation plus F2 after j z x will come. F1 you will get y and j bar k. So circular sum. So circular sum. So now F3y. See here it is now easy. F3y. Okay. F3y. So F3y means it is 0 because F3 is 0. Now F2z. F2z means you have, because there is no z component, it is again 0. Now you see F1y. F1y you have 2x is there. 2x is there. And F3x. Okay. F3x is 0. So 2x I j bar. You will get this as 2x j bar plus you have F2x. F2x, where is F2x? F2x, yeah, it is minus 2x. Minus 2x. Minus
Hello, sir.
2x. Yeah, hello.
So F3y minus F2y means it is like once can you show the matrix, sir?
Okay. Can I write enlarge?
Sir,
Can I
F3
enlarge this?
once again, sir. So
Uh,
F3y like if we cover I means then it will be like F3 into del by del y, na sir?
which one for I?
No, so you
High
said
quotient you are
F3
asking?
F3y minus F2y means how,
Right,
sir?
right. F3y minus F2z.
Means
That is what I wrote. Yeah,
differentiating
with respect
y.
to y and F2 with respect to z.
Okay.
Because F2 is not having z there, F2z becomes 0. That's what I told. For I bar. F2, what is F2 here? This is F2. See, this whole object is F2 and this object is F1. Both F3 is anyway 0. So both F1 and F2 are free from z. That is, z is not there. So their partial derivatives will become 0 with respect to z. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Right. So, yeah, where I'm doing j bar. Yeah. F2x, F2x, right, it is minus 2x. F1y, F1y, so 2y, minus 2y, minus 2y. You have k bar. So this is equal to 2xj bar minus 2 into x plus y k bar.
Sir, f1y will be minus 2x, no, sir?
F1y, where is F1y?
We are eliminating x.
F1y. F1y, where is F1y? Let me see. F1y is 2x only.
It will be 2x, no, sir?
Yeah, I wrote wrong.
I've taken 2y, sir.
Ah, right. F1y is 2x, right? So here 2x, right? No, right. Right. So you have minus 4x, is it right? Minus 4x, right. Right, okay. Right, anyway, you can simplify it. Okay. So this is how, this is the next problem. Okay. Then we go for is xy plane. The variation of velocity with the limit is given by this, the acceleration of the particle is. So we have to look into, yeah, this here what he's doing, variation, let me see, the variation velocity with the time is, yeah, okay, I will tell you what is this. So here we have a function that is actually v bar. So v bar is a function of time here. V bar is a function of time. So t is there, that's why it is yt is there. So simply what we need to do is that you have to in order to get acceleration, dv bar by dt you have to do. And you get dv bar by dt, and then when t is equal to 1, yeah, good, okay, I will do it. See.
So for the previous one, any further simplification? Can you
This
answer
one,
that?
this
Yeah,
one, this
yeah.
is another simplification, means you have 2x y bar, sorry, 2x j bar minus 4x k bar. That's all. No
That's
further
okay.
simplification.
Okay.
Okay. I think we may find that is that there. I'm not checking. In fact, why is have you done? Please, have you checked this? He's only getting. He's not getting two vectors. Or maybe this component may be zero. We have not checked it. See, you have to be careful here. Plus minus sign. Have you checked it, Vinay or Surya Prakash?
We're getting same, sir. We're getting same answer.
Because this has some errors. I knew this book has some errors. It's first edition, that's why.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Uh, okay. Now you take up this one. Please note this one. V bar is equal to x square plus yt I bar. And okay. And what is this? He's writing. And its limit is given by, okay. And its limit is given by, okay. Where with the limit is given by the acceleration of the particle in this field occupying the point 1 1. So at time t is equal to 1 will be. So he has given the limit actually. Limit he has given. Right. So what we will do is that as t going to 1, as t going to 1, the limit he says is x square plus y square into I square. Okay. Now we want dv bar by d. dv bar by dt, what it is coming? dv bar by dt is, dv bar by dt is, no, is the information sufficient here to answer? dv bar by dt, dv bar by dt. dv bar by dt, what it will come? 2x into x dot will come. And dy dot will come. Okay, let me see here. Let me try this. V bar is equal to x square plus yt. V bar is equal to x square plus yt. Okay. V bar is equal to V bar is equal to x square plus yt into only I cap, only in one direction it is there. Okay, good. And he told that the limit, right, and the limit is, where is that? V bar into x square plus y square I bar. Okay, that also will take V bar. I mean, as t going to 1, x square plus y square into I bar. Okay, good. No issue, right? Now what is asking? Is asking about in the field occupying this one. The acceleration he is asking. He is asking acceleration. Let me check, in fact. What is acceleration? Acceleration is, I write a bar. He's talking about a bar at t going to 1. Okay. So dv bar by dt as t going to 1 we want. So what is that? That is dv bar by dt. dv bar by dt as t going to 1. Can I write directly v bar by dt? 2x, but there is a problem here. 2x x dot. Okay. 2x x dot here, not the bar. Dot means dx dt, what I am saying. Into dt, dx dt, plus y dot, plus y dot t plus y, because UV rule, okay, I bar. This is the acceleration actually. Okay, at t is equal to 1 we want. So how can I say at t is equal to
So for
1?
starting, one thing is,
Here.
so for starting this problem, sir.
Hello.
So for starting
Start.
this problem from starting.
This one, huh?
Yes,
Hello.
sir. Yes, sir.
Are you able to listen to me?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
I was having network. Having network.
Yeah. Now what?
This problem can you explain, sir?
You want to you want me to again explain? Okay. So he is asking for. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Now I can listen.
From my side or your side this problem? Let me check.
I have network issues here.
Okay. Surya Prakash, see here. Okay. See the acceleration of the he is saying in a flow fluid in xy plane, the variation of velocity with limit is given by. So variation of limit with limit is given by means he is saying at t is equal to 1. That is what I am understanding. Okay. The acceleration of the particle in this field occupying the point 1 at time t is equal to 1, he is asking. So dv bar by dt as t going to 1 he wants. dv bar by dt as t going to 1 he wants. So dv bar by dt as t going to 1 if he wants, then how can we write? That is That is what I am seeing here. dV bar by dt. dV bar by dt is actually acceleration. Yeah, right. So when we write that dV bar by dt, how it comes? Because our V bar is x square plus yt into I bar. If you differentiate x and y are functions of t, that is the meaning here. So we have 2x into x dot plus y dot into t, because you have to differentiate yt with respect to t. So y into derivative of t, that is 1, y into 1 plus t into derivative of y, that is y dot I bar. This I can write. But as t going to 1, what is this value? We need to know. As t goes to 1, so as t going to 1, he says here x is 1 and y is 1. See here. Yeah, at 1 at a time t is equal to 1. So x is 1 and y is 1. So I can say that as t going to 1, as t goes to 1 here, x is 1 and y is 1. So I can write this as 2x dot plus t is also 1, y dot, no, I am writing x bar, it is not right, 2x dot plus what, t is also 1, so I have y dot plus 1 into I bar. But how could this dx by dt as t going to 1 I can find? How can I find that? Can I get from the previous information? I have to get that. There is no other way. So what is previous information? At t going to 1, that is t, v bar means x dot y dot, right? V bar means x dot y dot. But v bar means x dot y dot, agreed. V bar means x dot I bar plus y dot. Oh, there is some problem here. X dot. So this can be I bar only. This can be I bar only. No, there is some insufficient data here. Let me see again. What is giving? I think he may give, right. I am getting 2x dot plus y dot plus 1. That is okay. But what is x dot here? That is the question here. What is x dot? What is x dot? X dot, just wait. So can I say dv bar? No. At t is equal to 1, he is saying x square plus y square. At t is equal to 1, our x value is 1, y value is 1. That's okay. That we can say. But when t is not equal to 1, that is the case. Okay, just a minute. So what I will do is that as good. So the answer will be, I think, that is 1, 1, 2. 2I bar will be there. 2I bar will be there. And this is 2I bar will be there. But I am not getting 4I bar is not there in this. 2I bar, yeah, that is 0 we are getting. 0 we are getting, but he is getting, what is the answer he is giving? What is this question number? Question number 3. Question number 3. D is giving. Question number 3 is D. 5I bar. How can we get 5I bar? Here dv bar by dt agreed. dv bar by dt means right, dv bar by dt at t minus dv bar by dt. Okay, v bar at t. V bar at t is that minus. Okay, I'll write like this. Otherwise, we'll see the next class. We'll proceed to just let me have a try. So this is right. Exactly what I have written is correct. Okay. So or else how can I write v bar is that minus v bar at t, that is x square plus y square. Okay, as t going to means t plus h. So right, okay, so our is 1 plus h there. 1 plus h means 1 plus h, just a minute, 1 plus h, 1 plus h, 1 plus h, here 1 plus h, but I'm not getting 1 plus h. Good. So that x square and x square will get cancelled. So what I will have, yh minus y square only will be there. Y square is we'll see in the next time, in the next lecture. I'll try to solve this. You have to check here. Okay, we'll go to the fourth problem. The maximum value of the directional derivative here. Okay, will that part also. I will go to fifth one. The divergence of a vector r bar is equal to xi bar plus yj bar plus zk bar is. So, okay, this is straightforward. R bar is xi bar plus yj bar plus zk bar. So divergence means divergence r bar. So this is del dot r bar. So you have how I wrote this. This formula is, see, this is your f1, this is your f2, this is your f3. So that is equal to f1x plus f2y, sorry, f2y plus f3z. This is the one. So this is equal to f1x is that is 1. Okay, divergence is 1 plus f1 f2y, dou f dou y. F2 is here y and f3 is z. So 1 plus 1 plus 1, 3. Okay, 3. Yeah, that is 5. Answer is B. Next, Gauss divergence theorem relates to, I already told you, Gauss divergence theorem relates to okay, surface integrals to volume integrals. You always remember one thing. You have Stokes theorem. See, already I mentioned informally here. One is called Green's theorem. Then it in fact connects line integrals. It connects line integrals. Remember this one, to double integrals. Double integrals. Okay. Then you have Stokes theorem. Stokes theorem, what it will do? Stokes theorem, it connects surface integrals to line integral. Surface integral to line integral. That is Stokes theorem. When it comes to Gauss divergence theorem, that is Gauss theorem. So it connects volume integral to then it's surface integral. volume integral to surface integral. So Gauss divergence theorem, surface integrals to volume integral, that is 6a. It will be 6a. 6a, right? So we need to answer 3 and 4. Okay, right, no problem. 6a. Next, seventh one, given a vector field f bar, the divergence theorem states that f bar dot ds bar is equal to divergence of f bar into dv. Yeah, right. This is what it states. Okay. So good. So it is again a. It is again a. You always remember f bar dot ds bar subscript s. See, that's a surface integral. Left side is a surface integral. Right side is a volume integral. In the volume integral, the integrand is divergence of f bar. In the surface integral, I already told here. In most of the time, what type of surface integrals we deal with, I already told, and it is f bar dot ds bar. Okay, so that is the one. Right. Then, eighth question. The vector field is divergence free but not rotational. Rotational but not. So here you need to calculate divergence of this and curl of this. Then we can decide what are the probabilities. See, what are the possibilities. If curl of f bar is 0, then it is irrotational. Okay. Divergence free means it is 0. Divergence is. We'll see. So f bar is xi bar plus yj bar. F bar is xi bar plus yj bar. F bar is xi bar f bar is xi bar minus yj bar. So I calculate divergence of f bar. So divergence of f bar is, see here, you have this as, yeah, okay, I don't put circles. So here f1 is x, f2 is minus y, f3 is 0. The quotient of I bar is x, the quotient of y bar, j bar is minus y, the quotient of j bar is 0. So therefore, now I calculate both divergence of f bar and curl of f bar. Divergence of f bar is f1 x plus f2 y plus f3 z. F3z. So if f1y, so f1x dou f1 by dou x, that is 1. F2y, dou f2 by dou y, that is minus 1. Dou f3 by dou z is 0. So 0. So divergence free this is. Then we look at the curl of f bar also. So how curl of f bar can be calculated? So curl of f bar is equal to, you have again the determinant I bar, j bar, k bar, and you have dou x, dou y, dou z, and we have x, y, right, x minus y, right, x minus y here, x minus y 0. So we can say I bar into dou y, this 0 will become 0 minus k bar, that is dou by dou z of that is again 0. Next you have plus j bar into, okay, dou by dou z of x is 0 minus dou x by that is also 0. I think this is irrotational. So plus k bar into dou x by minus dou by dou x of minus y is 0 and dou by dou y of x is 0. So you are getting, hi, hello, yeah, hello.
The 0, sir. Everything is 0.
Hello.
Everything is 0.
So this is curl of bar. Everything is so divergence free and irrotational. Divergence free and irrotational. Divergence free Anti-rotational, where is that? Yeah, so C is the choice. C is the choice. Now this we have to see. Vertical is this in the x direction is. Okay. This can one calculate this? The velocity field is given by bar is equal to this, where in meters, the acceleration is of a fluid at xy is 1 in the x direction. In the x direction. So this application we will see separate velocity and acceleration applications we will see in the next class. So value of the integral where C is square cut from the first quadrant by line x is equal to, yeah, right. Okay. C is the this will be xy dy minus y square dx. Xy dy minus y square dx. Xy dy minus y square dx. This is the one, right? You have a C. What is this C? We will see. Okay, right. E is given by C is square. Use Green's theorems to change the line integral. Integral, he says. In fact, it directly comes. You need not worry. Square cut from the first quadrant. X is equal to 1. Okay. Right. Good. Okay. Just a minute. So I need to identify the region first. I will explain the Green's theorem. Good. This one. So you have X, Y. You in the first quadrant, you have this as 1, 0 and this as 0, 1. What he's doing is that he is rotating like this. He is rotating like this. Just a minute. He is rotating like that. Right. So what did the Green's theorem says? That I will write here. The Green's theorem says that integral m dx plus n dy, you have a closed interval, I mean you have a closed curve C is equal to double integral. I told Green's theorem converts line integral, that is the left one, to double integral. That's what I told. So dou n by dou x. So I write n subscript x minus m subscript y dx dy. This is the double integral. And you have R here, some region. Double integral means region. You want a region. So where is the region here? Where is the region here? So we have a region here. Okay, we have a region here. And we have a curve here. This is a closed curve. So I'll show where is that closed curve. The closed curve here is this. This is the closed curve. And where is the region here? The region is, this is the region. This is the region. Now what he says is that you please try to evaluate without, you can evaluate this integral in two ways. Use it as in terms of a line integral or in terms of a double integral. How double integral, in terms of double integral, one can easy, because using double integral it becomes easy. How it becomes easy, I will tell you. So because this is the one, see, you need to fix the order of integration here. So what I will do first, I will calculate what is m here. M is Here m is xy. Oh, no. M dx minus y square here. Here m is, see here, m dx plus n dy. That is the statement here. So m is minus y square here. M is minus y square here. Minus y square. What is n? N dy. So quotient of dy. Quotient dy is xy here. Quotient of dy is xy here. Then I need to calculate what is nx. So nx is dou n dou x, it is y, and my is minus 2y. Minus 2y. Now, the right hand side. Where is the right hand side? I am talking about the right hand side of this. Nx minus my. Nx minus my. Nx minus my is equal to y minus of minus 2y. So you have 3y. Okay. So we have now the RHS of the above. The RHS. You have double integral. The integrand is 3y. Suppose we want to do integration with respect to x followed by x with respect to y. So if you want to do with respect to x followed by y, then what did I say? First you decided to do with respect to x. So draw a strip parallel to x-axis. What is the x value here? The x value is 0 here. What is the x value here? The x value is 1 here. So x is varying from 0 to 1. And now see how you are moving the strip. You are moving the strip from here, like in this direction. You are moving like this. You are covering the entire region. So when you are covering the from where to where, y is equal to 0 to y is equal to 1, you are covering the region. So y is equal to 0 to y is equal to 1. So when it is done, so you have y is equal to 0 to y is equal to 1. Okay, the inner integral is inner loop, that is 3yx. So you have x is equal to 0 to x is equal to 1, because by keeping y as constant we did the integration. So this is equal to y is equal to 0 to y is equal to 1. We are putting x is equal to 1 there, so 3y again dy. So this results in 3y square by 2 lies between y is equal to 0 to y is equal to 1. So the answer is 3 by 2. So the answer is 3 by 2. So right. So now how it is easily you have done. I will ask you, can we do directly by what did I say? How line integral can be evaluated? That is what I am talking about all this time. See, when you are having line integral, how you will evaluate that? I told there are only two options here. First option is convert that into a single integral. Convert it to single integral. Okay. The other one is convert that into double integral. That's all. Convert that into double integral. See, when you are converting that into double integral, the only choice with you is, when you are dealing with line integral, I am giving a hint here, you can either use Stokes theorem or Green's theorem. Green's theorem is when you are dealing with two variables. Stokes theorem is when you are dealing with three variables, when your function involves x, y, and z. But in this problem, just a minute. Just a minute. I lost connection here. Sorry, this I lost connection in some laptop. That's the problem. Okay. So where is this? So Stokes the right. Right. So we have the other one. Stokes theorem is useful when you are dealing with three variables, and Green's theorem is useful when you are dealing with two variables. Here in this problem, only two variables are there. There is no z. That's why we are using Green's theorem, and Green's theorem statement I have given here. Okay. Now you can ask me how you can do this problem by using the LHS. So if you want to use LHS, here there are four parts. Just I will give an outline here. This is along this one, along this slide, this side. You are, this is along this side. What is happening is that x value is always 1 and y is varying from 0 to 1. And along this one, y is always 1, but x is varying from 1 to 0. Please remember, we are coming like in this direction. We are coming in this direction. So here x is 1, here x is 0. When you are coming doing like this, because you are coming like this, your x is always 0 and y you are varying from 1 to 0. 1 to 0. And finally, when you are coming like this, your y is always 0 and x is varying from 0 to 1. So along this one, what is happening to this curve? X is 1, y is 1, y is 0. So x is 1, y is 0 means, see here, x is 1, y is 0 means here, dx, because x is always constant, dx becomes 0. Okay, dx becomes 0. X is 1, dx becomes 0 means here in that line, I mean, this becomes 1, dx becomes 0. So in this one, how it will come? X is 1. So you are left with only y dy. That's all. Y dy. And so what is your y? Y is here, see. Y is varying from 0 to 1. Y is varying from 0 to 1. Y is varying from alternative way I am telling it. Y is varying from 0 to 1. So you have 0, 1 here. So what is the answer here? Y square by 2, 0, 1 here. So 1 by 2. If you come to this side, so you are saying it is x, y is 1. So this becomes 1 and x is varying, y is 1 means dy becomes 0. Dy becomes 0. So y is 1 we are saying. So integral simply you are minus y is 1. So ds only. X you have to integrate from 1 to 0. So integral dx here you have minus here. Dx is x. 1 to 0. So you'll get this as 1. So this is half. This is 1. Okay. Similarly, if you calculate along these two lines, along these other two lines also I will give you. So what you got? Yeah, just in this you got 0, not 0, half. I told you half. Here we got 1. Now I will tell you what is this. Here x is always 0, y is varying from 1 to 0. X is 0. X is 0 means what? Here this is 0. Y is varying. So x is 0 means this is also 0. This x because this becomes 0 because dx is 0. X is 0, that's why this dy rule is not there. So in this side, what is happening is that this is becoming 0. And now only thing is this, that is this is left. So in this one y is 0. In this one y is 0, x is varying from 0 to 1. Y is 0 means where is our y? Y is 0 here. Okay, again you are getting, because see here also y is there, here also y is there, so y is 0, so total is 0. So now if you evaluate along this line in this direction, you'll get 0. So the answer is 1 plus 1 by 2, so it is 3 by 2. See, we got the same answer here. We got the same answer here. Yeah, right. So what I would like to conclude is that if you use Green's theorem, see, evaluating line integral means here how you have done. You have done the integration 4 times. But I am just informally telling you that is 4 times. But here only you evaluated 2 times the integral, because double integral means 2 times you are evaluating and you are able to get the answer. So we can go for this Green's theorem application. Okay. So that's for today. Tomorrow also we'll discuss about some problems on more on vector calculus. See, we have 3 more lectures according to the plan, but you can reach me. There is no problem. I will explain wherever you want, whenever we want a session. It's not a problem for me. But my plan is that tomorrow also we'll go for vector integration and these applications. We'll do some more problems in this exercise, and probably the last 2 sessions I would like to focus on numerical methods and this some part of this. That's my plan. Okay. So any questions now?
No, sir.
Okay, right. Fine. Tomorrow, if time permits, I may. Okay, let me stop the recording here. If time permits, I